NASCAR released their 2026 schedules yesterday, so let's go over some highlights. First, we'll start off with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Third race there. They are coming, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is coming to St. Petersburg Saturday, February 28th. They will be doing a combination race weekend with the NTT IndyCar Series. So that should be an interesting event there. Next in line, Darlington in end of March. That should be another interesting one. Don't really like the date switch there. I feel like Darlington should be in May or early June, but that's just my preference. Then again, we go to a Rockingham Easter weekend, followed by Bristol, Texas. Another change, Watkins Glen has been moved to May. That is extremely early for Watkins Glen's sake. We'll have to see how that one plays out. I don't like the schedule placement there. I believe Watkins Glen should keep a August date. Then we go to Dover. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series returning to Dover for the first time since, I believe, 2019. I could be wrong on that one. Don't quote me. That's actually funny because I was at that race in 2019. So that might have been the last truck race at Dover. So welcome back. I do like that change because I am a fan of Dover. My two closest tracks would be Dover and Pocono. Then we go to Charlotte for the traditional Coke 600 weekend, followed by Nashville, Michigan. And now the next noteworthy moment is San Diego. We will be on the Naval Base with the Cup Series as well, so the Truck Series will have a race there. Second year at Lime Park, and then we get to the July date of North Wilkesboro. So this in past years was the race before Charlotte. However, with the change, it is now going to be in July. And more than likely with the Truck Series, hopefully this is going to be a night race, because if it's a day race in the middle of July in North Carolina, that one's going to be hot. But then we got Richmond. Then the playoffs begin. We start at New Hampshire. Then we go to Bristol. Or no, New Hampshire's a regular season finale. Okay, I'm jumping around here. Then Bristol, then Kansas, then Charlotte. There's your first round. And then Phoenix, Talladega, Martinsville. And we end the year back where the championship race belongs, and that is Homestead, Miami. Now we will switch to Xfinity. Okay, so COTA is the third race of the season. That is, so the Cup and Xfinity will be at COTA while the trucks are busy in St. Pete with IndyCar. Vegas and Phoenix, you got your West Coast swing. It's a short West Coast swing now because there's no Auto Club. RIP Auto Club. Really a shame what they did to that racetrack. Got Darlington, that date in March. Whatever, doesn't feel right. Martinsville, Rockingham, Bristol. There's not as much on this side of things. I mean, your weekends that were shifted this year are across the board. Pocono gets that early June date again, which is so much better than late June. We are going back to Chicagoland, July 4th weekend. Let's just stop this madness. Put Chicagoland in Daytona's spot and make Daytona July 4th weekend. Something about July 4th, under the lights, at Daytona. Loved it. Love it. And yet we're going to... First we did Grant Park and the stupid street course, and now we're going to do Chicagoland Speedway on July 4th weekend, when in reality we should just go back to Daytona. All right, and most of the rest of the schedule is pretty normal. I mean, you've got Indy. Frankly, with Indy, what I think we should do, instead of making it Brickyard 400, every single year. I do think we need to run the Brickyard 400 every year, but I think every other year, at least with the support divisions of Xfinity or now O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and the Truck Series, I think we should also run the road course. I think the Cup Series as a whole has a lot of learning to do when it comes to road courses. SVG has just been putting a whooping on the field as of late and making the road courses very, very boring. But I do think we need to get rid of stage racing on the road courses as well, because the road courses are not entertaining, and stage racing takes the strategy element out of road courses because your pit stops are basically planned around the stages. Now we'll switch over to Cup. Okay, so year 2 of the clash at Bowman Gray Stadium. Then we go to Daytona. That's normal. Echo Park Speedway will forever, to me, always be Atlanta Motor Speedway. Then we go to COTA. I'm pretty much assuming that that's going to be an SVG win already. Phoenix, your West Coast swing, which used to be deep, now is only 2 races, being Phoenix and Vegas. Darlington, that strange date I brought up earlier in the Truck Series. Then we go to Martinsville before the only off week of the season for the Cup Series, and that will happen Easter weekend. Then we go to Bristol for the spring date, which, frankly, they could have made Bristol the All-Star race, which we'll get to the All-Star race in a minute. Then we got Kansas, Talladega, Texas, and the strange May date of Watkins Glen. Then we go to Dover. Now, as a Dover fan, the racing the last couple years has been lackluster at most. Calmer, dare I say boring racing at some points. But it is the second closest track to me. So what has happened is sad. We went from having 2 point states a year at Dover, 2 point states at Pocono. Well, Pocono lost one of their dates, now Dover lost one of their dates, and now they lost their only point state. So it's sad, but in a way it's cool because it's the All-Star race. Now, I wish we had a point state. But the All-Star race is different, and it brings in different things like the Pit Crew Challenge. They don't do that every week. So from a fan standpoint, yes, it sucks. We lost our point state. However, we are going to have some fun that weekend for the All-Star race, and I believe there also is trucks in town that weekend as well. But at the end of the day, are my ticket prices going to go down? Because they should. I mean, cheapest ticket for this past year's race was, I think, around $90. Not too bad, but for that price, you get 400 laps. Now, being an all-star event, you're going to get less laps as a fan. But you're also now going to have some different events that you wouldn't otherwise have with a points-paying race. So the format's going to change. Then we got Charlotte 600 and Nashville, Michigan. There's that Pocono date. And that would, for me, I'm going to try to do Dover and Pocono next year. Maybe the Clash at Bowman Gray. I don't know. We'll see. But I like to get my racing done before it gets excessively hot. I'm not a fan of the heat, excessive heat. So to have my races done by early June, that's going to, personally, that's just a personal thing. Then we go to San Diego. That's going to be interesting. That's at a military base, so I wonder how they're going to have fans that race, or is it all going to be just servicemen and women? Then we stay in the West, and we go to Sonoma. And then the return that we've all been waiting for, Chicagoland. I also want to see Kentucky come back. And then the rest of the schedule is pretty much normal. I don't really see anything standing out there. So that is the 2024 NASCAR schedule.